Hello, my lovely Scorpios, and a very warm welcome to your 2021-2022 forecast. 2020, of course, a huge transformational year when everything changed. And certainly that's going to continue into 2021 with a slightly different flavor of the aspects. And the most important aspect that's going to be affecting us all this year, and especially you as a fixed sign, my lovely Scorpios, is this square between Uranus in Taurus, right opposite you, and Saturn in Aquarius. It's especially strong between February and July, and again November, December, but nonetheless, it's in a good enough orb as a square all year long. For you, this square here from Saturn in the 4th to Uranus in the 7th house. So what does it mean? Uranus is about your freedom. Uranus is about being able to see future possibilities, endless possibilities. Uranus is about the new. Saturn is about structure. Uranus hates structure. And you've got them in square aspect. So on the global stage, I've no doubt that this year we're going to see a lot more riots, demonstrations, protests against governments and authorities, that's the Saturn energy, who are restricting our freedoms in one way or another. Anything that involves the restriction of what we can and cannot do is not at all going to be a welcomed in any way. But we have to look at this not only on the external level, as we see in our global situation, but also on the personal level and at the internal level. And for you, lovely Scorpios, it's affecting you in the area of relationships and your home and your family. So you might want to think about what's suffocating me, where do I not feel free? Where do I feel limited in connection with relationships and home and family and my living situation? What do I need to break out of? What do I need to do differently? Saturn is about your responsibilities. What responsibilities must you continue with? And what responsibilities do you need to absolve yourself from? What responsibilities are no longer yours that you're carrying around with you, that you don't need to carry around anymore? And in relationships, you might need something new. You might need to break out of an existing relationship. You might need a relationship that's got a lot more freedom to it, a lot more independence. You might choose to be on your own instead. You might have a long distance relationship. You may move home. Very strongly aspected for you. A move of home, a change of surroundings, a change of environment, some kind of a breakout maybe of commitments to family and home. When it comes to new commitments this year, go carefully, go slowly. Make sure before you say yes, that you can do it in a loving and heartfelt way. If you don't think you can, probably best to say no if there's an option. Where are you holding yourself back? Where are you playing it too safe? Where are you making your world smaller and smaller and smaller? That's the Saturn energy. Where do you need to break out and say, hey, I'm ready to explore some new horizons? Yes, we may have certain restrictions placed on us externally in our world, depending what happens. But where are you unnecessarily restricting yourself? That's the big question. On January 7th, we've got Mars, been in your 6th house for months and months, finally going into your 7th house of relationship, where it will be until the beginning of March. Mars and Uranus in the relationship house. Well, it's a good time for putting energy into relationships. What do you want to accomplish? What do you want? Who do you want? Why do you want these relationships? How much energy are you willing to put in your relationships? It's time to be proactive. It's not a time to somehow sit back. Mars is saying, hey, go, go, go. So Scorpios, you go. Might be time to express something. Might be time to say, well, it's time to part ways. Or it might be time to say, hey, look, let's find ways, let's get counseling, let's see if we can come together more than we've been. If you want a new relationship, Mars is saying, hey, take the initiative. On May the 15th, we've got Jupiter coming to join Neptune in your 5th house until the end of July. This is wonderful for romance. It's also wonderful for your creativity. Oh my goodness. Anything that you do creatively, this is a wonderful aspect. It's also great for getting a business going, especially your own business, and incorporating your creativity into something that could also be lucrative and money-making for you. On the 28th, Jupiter going back into the 4th until the end of the year. So seriously, many of you may be moving or making considerable changes to your environment. Maybe it's renovations, upgrades, repairs, painting, decorating, something changing around you. On May 29th, we've got a lunar eclipse happening here in this 2nd house. And on June 10th, a solar eclipse in the 8th. So the eclipse is affecting the 2nd and 8th houses for you lovely Scorpios. So this is going to affect your finances. You might be making some changes financially. You might get a new financial opportunity. You may also look at your talents, your gifts, and decide, hey, I'm going to pursue one of these talents. I'm going to really make it into something. I'm going to put my heart and soul and see where it leads. You may be looking after somebody else's resources or finances in some way. Then on November the 19th, we've got a lunar eclipse happening here in the relationship house. And on December the 4th, a solar eclipse happening in the money house, new beginnings financially. So the lunar eclipse in the 7th house of relationships could bring something to a head with a relationship, to fruition. A relationship, you may decide that you're going to marry or you're going to make it into a more serious commitment. And you may also have some new beginnings financially, some good news, new opportunities, new possibilities opening up for you in that area. So this is an exciting year. It's a transformational year once again. It's about just not allowing yourself to be unconscious in your limiting behavior patterns. Whenever you're feeling limited, wherever you're feeling restricted, say, what can I do now to change that constructively, rather than get into the place where you've got to break out of it and destroy things in that process. That's the key of managing this square, globally and personally. So I want to thank so many of you who contribute to this channel on Patreon. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subbing. Bye for now.